Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, November 7th at 9:55 a.m. And after Purdue lost a game that had the division pretty much on the line, came out listless. Offense looked bad, defense looked bad, special teams had some problems, coaching obviously had some problems. It's pretty obvious that changes need to be made. At least one change needs to be made. I'm going to talk to you about what that change should be here in a second. But before I do it, let me thank my sponsors. Let me thank you. Let me thank Martin Vintage, martinvintage.com. Head over there, get a legacy, a classic Purdue t-shirt or sweatshirt, and enter Boiled at checkout for 15% off. And then after you're done with that, head over to eatajs.com, order ahead, drive right to AJ's on Vine, and pick up your delicious food. Enjoy it. I mean, it's only 10 a.m. So they probably open at 11 today, I assume. But go get something to eat for lunch. You look emaciated. EatAJs.com. So let's look. Purdue lost 24-7 to Iowa. They allowed Iowa's beleaguered offense to run and pass and move the ball easily all day. So on the other side of the ball, Aiden O'Connell had 2 interceptions. Purdue played a pretty bad brand of football. They ran the ball pretty well at times. Maccabee had 65 yards rushing. On the special teams side of things, Iowa's punter figured out that you got to kick the ball under the wind. At the same time, Purdue's punter, Jack Ansel, kept kicking the ball up high into the wind. It would get knocked down. And then the other side, Iowa's punter just feasted on the fact that he could just boom the ball with the wind at his back. Purdue kicked the field goals okay. But my whole point is there. And then on the other side, the play calling was just crap. Let's be real honest. Let's call it what it is. But there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of blame you could spread around, really, if you wanted to. But a friend of mine texted me this morning and gave the correct solution, the obvious solution. Somebody's got to get fired, right? Somebody's got to get fired. It's pretty easy who it is. You got to fire Jeff Brom as the offensive coordinator, play caller on game day. This is pretty easy. We've talked about this for a long time. To me, it seems like Jeff has lost a little bit of a hop in his step. He looks kind of beaten down. He doesn't have the fire that we're used to seeing Jeff Brom has, whether it's dealing with quarterback play or whatever. He just doesn't have the same hop in his step. And his play calling is equally as vanilla or milquetoast or whatever you want to call it. It's definitely not the offense that Purdue fans have come to know and love. So it seems to me it might be time for Jeff to pick up the phone and fire himself as the play caller on game day. I don't think he'll do it. In fact, I don't think he would do it, period. I think he believes he's the best guy to call the game. But how much easier could it be? How much easier of an answer could there be? But asking your brother, who's a good friend of yours, it seems like by all accounts, these guys are good buddies. Asking Brian to pick up the play calling duties on game day. He's done it before. He was head coach, remember, versus Iowa. First game of the season in the unusual truncated 2020 season. Did a pretty good job. Got the win. While Jeff was on the mend with COVID. And I think if you can't trust your brother in this occasion, if you can't say, yep, I've got something wrong and we need to make a change, I don't know when you're ever going to say that. Purdue definitely looks like a change is needed. They definitely need something to give them a shot in the arm. And wouldn't it be a great time to do it right before they head to Champaign to Illinois to try to salvage at least a portion of the Big Ten West? It looks to me like the path to a West Division title, even after Illinois' loss, isn't easy, isn't likely. There's just too many things that have to happen for Purdue. If Purdue handles their business and wins out, they'll probably win a share of the Big Ten West title, but they wouldn't go to Indianapolis. That'd be okay. In that case, they would finish with 8 wins. A more likely scenario to me looks like Purdue could win 1 or 2 games and get to a mediocre or okay bowl, which again is very disappointing for me and for you, probably if you're a Purdue fan. So I don't have much else to say. I just wanted this text thread I had with a friend reminded me of something that I had talked about early in the season, and many of you have thought, and I've thought. But the solution is right in front of you. Jeff, it's time to fire your play caller on game day, and that's you. Free yourself up. Go do what you can. Get after quarterbacks. Resume being the quarterback whisperer that we've all come to know and love, and the nation talks about your genius and the ability to develop quarterbacks. You've clearly done a good job at that, but it's time to do something different on game day. And this Iowa game and the Wisconsin game both show that, but the Iowa game may be worse than any of them because just the fact the offense never got moving. There are a couple people on here live. I appreciate you tuning in live. Thanks to those who are listening taped as well, but I'm going to go through these. I'm not wearing my glasses today since I'm not doing much statistical analysis. I really don't need them as much. Ben Cotton says, hey, Ben, how are you? I like how the unexpanded description implies the solution is Martin Vintage. Oh, boy. I've got to do an edit before I get this thing fully published. So I'll do that. I'll get on that. But, yeah, I think thank you for bringing it up. I don't even know what you're talking about, but it sounds like I screwed up. Shocker. Greg McManus says, I wish they would have scored 7. Yeah, getting in the end zone would have been good. And Jeff Brom's post-game comments, number one, they weren't as fiery or bristly or angry as they have been after many losses. He was kind of accepting of the fact that things just weren't good. He said that when they passed the ball 3 times down there from inside the 5, one of them was a run-pass option that O'Connell had the right to choose what he wanted, but he said, I should have called a run. Yeah, no kidding. Andrew Day says, I don't think he'll give it up, even though he should have 2 years ago. I agree, Andrew. Greg McManus again says, when Brian gets to call the plays, he's shown he's capable. I know he doesn't. What? Brian gets, Brian is capable of calling plays. I think Jeff trusts him as much as he would trust anybody. I think it'd be a good time to make this move. Brock Stepler says, I thought this team was going to be different. Shame on me, I guess. Yeah, Brock, I feel similar. I thought this team, I thought they were a 9-win team. I said that on this very quick cast. Not this one, but one of the quick casts. Yeah, I thought this team was going to be different. I thought their ceiling was much higher. This season is very disappointing for me. I've talked about it a couple times now. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but I already probably dwelled on it too much. South Haven Boiler says, how many fires will Jeff make after the season? Well, some of you who know me better know a different version of me. I'm a lot more filtered here on the QuickCast. And I've made some suggestions of some coaching staff moves that Jeff Brom needs to make. Maybe Mike Babinski needs to force his hand a bit. But I'm not going to talk about that today or here. I think some staff changes need to be made outside of this play calling thing. But I just thought it might be a good idea to suggest that there is a simple solution right now that would, the only thing it would cost Jeff is a little bit of pride, really. And it needs to be made. That solution is legit, needs to be made. All right. Ben Cotton says everything's actually fine. So that's good. It's good. Andrew Day reminds us, again, I think Andrew did this during the postgame, basketball begins tomorrow. Yes, it is good news, and I think we're going to enjoy this season. I think we'll have a different perspective on the season. I think we will, as fans, come into it with some optimism, some wide-eyed optimism, where we're excited to see what these young guys can do. And remember, Purdue's kind of in a rebuild year. So no pressure, baby. Let's go do some big things. Nathan Hartman says, Kyle Charters told me 2 years ago on Twitter that Jeff will never relinquish play calling. Not sure if things are different now than then. I agree, Nathan. I don't think Jeff will do it. But the more we suggest it, the more we put it out in the ether, maybe it gets to the coaches. Maybe Jeff hears about it. I don't know. Probably wishful thinking. I know Jeff loves the QuickCast, but who doesn't? So Jeff, if you're listening, when you listen, probably during your morning workout, it's time to hand over the reins to Brian. Okay, so that's about it. I'm gonna call it quits. That was just supposed to be a quick, kind of a smart-assy response. We're just under 10 minutes. I hope your day has started well. I hope you have a little bit of optimism, a little more than I do heading into the Illinois game. And I do look forward to seeing Purdue play, and I hope the players feel better about it than I do. I love this team still. I still think their upside is there. They still can do a lot. I mean, shoot, 8 wins heading into a bowl and going to a decent bowl would be a pretty darn good season. Like I said the other day, I referenced this. Purdue's football program has a 55% winning rate in the history of the program. So an 8-win season is pretty special. I would have loved to see a 10-win, just like J Money. I would love to see a 10-win. I'm still waiting. I don't remember the last 10-win season. I was too young. So it'll happen, just like the Final Four. Dang nabbit. All right. God bless you. Hammer down. Have a great day. We'll see you.